When you resist the truth for too long, eventually there comes a point where you either have to kill the truth to keep living your lie, or you have to kill the lie to live in the truth. For Herod had sent and had Jochanan arrested and chained in prison because of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip. Herod had married her, but Jochanan had told him it violates the Torah for you to marry your brother's wife. So Herodias had a grudge against him and wanted him put to death. But this she could not accomplish because Herod stood in awe of Jochanan and protected him, for he knew that he was a Zadok, a holy man. Whenever he heard him, he became deeply disturbed, yet he liked to listen to him. Finally, the opportunity came. Herod gave a banquet on his birthday for his nobles and officers and leading men of Galil. The daughter of Herodias came and danced, and she pleased Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask me for whatever you want, and I will give it to you." And he made a vow to her, "Whatever you ask of me I will give to you, up to half my kingdom." So she went out and said to her mother, "What should I ask for?" And she said, "The head of Jochanan the Immerser." At once the daughter hurried back to the king and announced her request. "I want you to give me right now on a platter the head of Jochanan the Immerser." Herod was appalled, but out of regard for his oaths he had sworn before his dinner guests, he did not want to break his word to her. And so the king immediately sent a soldier from his personal guard with orders to bring Jochanan's head. Even though Herod was desperately wicked and was doing things that were in absolute contrast to what the truth required, he still enjoyed hearing the truth. He enjoyed being in the presence of the truth. I think oftentimes when we read this story, we kind of think of Herod as being this desperately wicked king who has no value for godliness or righteousness. But I don't think that's entirely true. I think Herod was a man who was a slave to his fear of people and his need to impress people. Think about this for a moment. He has this wife who doesn't like John the Baptist. Now, clearly Herod was not bothered by John the Baptist calling out his sin, but Herodias was the one who was offended. And out of Herod's concern for his wife's view of him, he put John the Baptist in prison, even though he was in awe of John the Baptist and actually really enjoyed listening to the things that he had to say. Herod could have told his wife no. He could have said, "I'm not going to do that because what this man is saying is good." But he chose not to. He chose to fear the response of his wife over the response of God. And then came a second opportunity. The second opportunity to do the right thing, to embrace the truth. But instead, this time, he feared how he would look before his dinner guests more than he feared God. And so even though he was appalled by the request of his daughter, disgusted by what it was that she asked for, he still did it because he had made an oath before his dinner guests and he didn't want to renege on his word in front of other people. Herod was a people pleaser. He was more concerned about how he was viewed by others than how he was viewed by God. And so even though he had the truth right there with him, one of the most powerful men ever to walk the earth, Jesus said that no man born prior to or even after, if I remember correctly, John the Baptist, no man, no living human was greater than John the Baptist. And he had this person in his presence speaking the truth of the coming gospel in his very presence. He was this close to the truth. And yet he resisted for so long that eventually Satan put him in a position where he had to make a choice. You either kill the truth so that you can keep living your lie, or you kill the lie so that you can step into the truth. And Herod chose to kill the truth because he feared the opinions of others more than he feared God. Shh.